Everyone to Marketing Tips Tuesday with Practicefuel, the 9-step system that will show you everything you need to know to use the internet to grow your practice. My name is Brian Devine, and today we are talking about getting found fast. That's what we call it. Some people call it SEO or search engine optimization. And no matter what you call it or what we call it, the idea here is to make sure that when people are looking for your service, that they find you and not the guy down the street or the gal down the street. So what we want to just cover today is the three, call them the 3.5 basic things that you want to know about search engine optimization in order to fully take advantage of it. So I'm going to give you, let's pull this up here so you can see the context, and you'll see at the very top under the floodgates section, getting found fast. So what I want really clear here is that at the point at which you are thinking about doing search engine optimization, you want to have all of these other things in place, and especially your foundation. Your website has to be rock solid, because if you start sending a ton of traffic, a lot of eyeballs to your website, and it's not ideal, meaning you haven't done anything to make sure that it turns visitors into patients, well, then you're wasting your time. So don't do that, right? And then if your reputation, if somebody finds you and then they think, well, this might be the right place for me, and they look you up online to see about your online reviews and you don't really have any, or they're not very good, then you've got a new problem, right? And so you're just wasting time. So that's why I want to make sure that you have this context in place so that you know that if we're talking about SEO, getting found fast, we're way up at the top. This is the stuff that really adds a lot of fuel to the fire, but you can't do it first. You have to be thinking of it after you have your foundation and a few other things in place that are going to generate very quick results. Because search engine optimization, as much as we would love it to be back in the good old days where we could just do a couple of cool little things and get you onto page one, those days are really over. Now, are there some cool things that we can do with Google Maps? Yeah, there are, and we're finding that that's probably the fastest way to get results these days. I digress. Let's talk about how to get found fast using content. Whenever you are talking about search engine optimization, I want you thinking about content first. That means that you have to have a consistent flow of good, solid content that people are interested in and interacting with in order for it to have a positive effect for you in the long run. And that means that it is, I make it easy, right? Your 10 frequently asked questions, and then add your should be asking questions. And that is a great start for your content. And then you can just kind of take pieces of it and recycle it and use it over and over again. The key is to make sure that you have really good, solid content to start. So content first. Number 2 is you optimize that content for readers first, right? You want people to be able to read it easily. And then for search engines second. What that means is that if you are a dentist in Chicago, that you don't want to say dentist in Chicago 35 times in 2 paragraphs, right? That would be trying to game the system, and Google has figured that out a long time ago. So that doesn't do you any good anyway. So think about how someone's going to read it, and then back up and say, okay, well, if I'm a search engine and I need to know what this article is about, then you go back in and you start thinking, okay, so we want to make sure they do know that you are a dentist in Chicago, and we want to make sure that Google knows that this article is all about implants, or it is about whatever the subject matter happens to be. So make sure it's crystal clear in the title and in what we call H tags and in bullet points, all of that stuff, so that it's just over and over again saying to Google, this is what the article is about. This is what my content is about. And this is what I'm an expert in. So number 1, focus on your content first. Number 2, optimize that content for readers, number 1, and search engines, number 2. And then 3, get people to that content. And I know this is the part that I'll tell you, we all forget. We're like, hey, this is great content. The search engines are going to find it and it's going to start bringing you up. Now that can happen, but it takes a very, very long time, right? But you can shortcut that process by sending people to it. So you can start putting up ads, and Facebook is a very cheap way to start doing that, where you say, hey, I've got this great content about implants, about Invisalign, about braces, whatever it is that you want people to know about. You run a quick ad, and a very inexpensive one, right? We're talking from $1 to $5 a day to get people to that content, so that the search engines are seeing that people are going from social media to your website. And that elevates you in the authority phase, right? That we're trying to build that authority. And Google looks at all that. So that is number 3, is getting people to see your content and consume it. So if you have people that click on an ad and they look at your article and they leave immediately, okay, well, you have to redo that content because obviously it's not what people wanted. So if that can hurt you more than it can help you, right? Having people bounce, we call it a bounce rate. We want to keep that pretty low. All right. So those are the 3 things. So the 3.5, the little bonus section here, make an offer. Okay. So if somebody has taken the time to say, I'm interested in that topic, and they come to your website, give them a reason to contact you. Don't just hope that they get that would be the logical next step. People aren't thinking about it at the time. They are getting the information that they wanted. You provided it. Now say, hey, would you like this offer? Or we'd recommend that you take this next step. So don't forget that, okay? That is extremely important. And if you want to know that one extra little tip when it comes to what to do with all of those people that are saying they are interested in your content on Facebook. So if you're running an ad, sending them to your content, there's a little trick, and we call it an invisible list. But this is the key to everything. This is what makes doing that so incredibly powerful, because yes, it has a huge impact on your search engine optimization, but it also gives you an audience that you didn't have previously that you can start. Well, if you want to know, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer your questions about it. All right. So that's my little open loop on if you would like some more information about it, reach out to me here. You can come to our website and fill out a form and say, hey, tell me what that last little tip is for running those Facebook ads. And I'll be happy to do it. Let me put up the link here. It should be, there it is. All right. So you can always go to practicefuel.rocks, fill out any of the forms, and then just put in the notes that you would like to know that extra little secret, and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. And it's not we're not going to just hard sell you on everything. We just want to make sure that this is content that you want. See, content. And if we get enough people that are interested in it, then we'll take that next step and we'll do a video like this where we explain that stage, because it is so incredibly powerful. We are finding that when we do this particular piece of the puzzle and we add it to some of the other things that we do, it compounds. It has a huge, huge effect. And in fact, we really don't recommend doing anything without it anymore, because it is just so effective and so inexpensive, right? I mean, it's all right. I've talked enough. Hope you found some value in what we covered today. And I look forward to getting some feedback and seeing what everyone is interested in learning more about. All right. That's all I have for today. Let me know what questions you have. And I look forward to seeing you next time on Marketing Tips Tuesday from Practicefuel. That's all for me. Bye for now.